Hey you guys, my name is Mara Sullivan and welcome to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about grief. I'm going to be talking about exhaustion that comes with grief. I'm going to be talking about holiday blues, um, winter blues, seasonal depression, sadness, just a lot of the hard things that typically come with this time of year. If this is obviously, this is a trigger warning. And so if these topics are triggering for you, sensitive for you, please feel free to click off of this video. I have other videos on my channel that you can check out. Um, but I want to make you feel better and not feel worse. So if this is going to make you feel worse, it's okay to just skip this one. But I am going to be sharing things that have helped me, some things that I've been going through. If you have not seen any of my previous videos before, I get more in depth about my grief journey. I lost my mom last November, and it has been a whirlwind of a year since then, from then until now. And I basically started this channel just as another creative outlet. It's been helping me so much. It's been so therapeutic for me. I do have a podcast that I've had for the last 2 years. I've just always been someone who I my therapy is creating, it is, talking things out, writing things out, and I enjoy sharing with other people because I have gotten the most help from people who have shared their experiences with grief and who have been open about it and who haven't bottled everything up. I know that everyone grieves in different ways. There is no right or wrong way to grieve. But I know the thing that has been the most therapeutic for me, one of the things has been having creative outlets. And so I have been absolutely loving starting my YouTube channel. The entire theme of my channel is just helping you to live your dream life regardless of your circumstances, because that is currently what I am doing. I have every reason to not get out of bed every day. I have every reason to, you know, live a sad, depressed, you know, just pitiful life. We all do, And I feel like I love people who, go through a lot but are resilient. And I feel like there's so much strength in sharing those journeys. And so that is what I hopefully am doing for someone else because, like I said, so many people have been helping me this past year with sharing their own stories and opening up about their grief journeys. I've just learned so much. And so I want to do that for at least one other person out there. And so in today's video, like I said, I'm going to be talking about grief and exhaustion that comes from grief. I feel like a lot of people talk about depression and they talk about um, just a lot of the anxiety, depression um, aspect of grief, but not a lot of people talk about the actual like tiredness and exhaustion that comes from grief, where it's like you're not necessarily, obviously, I'm sad. Like anyone who goes through grief is 9 times out of 10 very sad. But there's like kind of like an in between state where it's like you're not depressed. I'm still functioning, getting out of bed every day, enjoying my life, but everything takes so much more energy to do. And for me, like it's fatigue. I've done my research. I've been to my doctor. Like I'm like blood levels are great. I am super healthy, thank God. But it's like just the energy is just gone. Like I feel like for a whole year, I have just been so exhausted. Like I said, I lost my mom last November, and I've had an incredible year. Like as hard as it has been, I have had such a beautiful year, and I'm so grateful for that. Like I said, I've been enjoying my life. I've had to work, and so I've still had to get up every day. But everything has taken so much more energy to do. And I feel like if you're someone who has gone through grief or going through grief, you completely understand what I'm talking about. Because I've been looking at like other friends who have also been going through grief as well, who have been like sharing the same thing. It's like it's I, we gotta like come up with a word for like when you're not when you're not like pity party every day, you're not like clinically depressed in like the traditional sense of that word, but like you're still so drained. Everything is so much more exhausting. And I think that a lot of times people just don't talk about the heaviness of grief itself and just how hard it is to do like it's so much harder to do everything. At least the first year for me has been like that. There's no right way to grieve, there's no wrong way to grieve. Everyone has to do what works for them and find what works for them. But I just wanted to say, like, especially this time of year, it's like this year has, like I said, everything has already taken so much more energy to do because grief has been so heavy. But then in the winter, everything is already harder to do anyway. I live in Maryland and it's dark at 4 p.m., it's freezing. Seasonal depression, everything is just harder to do because it's dark and it's cold from like in most places. And so most people struggle this time of year, whether you're going through grief or not, just because the weather is not the best, where all of us are indoors for the most part a lot more. We're going out a lot less in the winter. Even though it's super cozy and it's inside, it's like less social interaction. And so there's so many hard things that come with winter, regardless of, going through grief or not. But it's like going through grief in the winter. There's a reason why, aside from the holidays, people struggle with, the holidays and grief. Also, like I said, just the season itself, like it being dark and cold, makes it 15 times harder to do anything, to basically function. And so, if that is something that you have been going through, just know that I am right here with you. And I'm just sharing a few things that have been helping me. Number one, like none of these are, super, what's it called? None of these are things that you haven't heard before, but these are things that definitely are helping me. I know for me, when I am super exhausted and I just like can't move, like when I'm super like tired, and I've had to, like I said, still work this year, so I've still had to like get out of bed and be an adult and take care of responsibilities and I'm 100% independent. Like I've still had to do the things this year, and like I said, everything has just been so much harder to do. When I am super tired, I know that for me, hydration is always number one. And I know that that seems like something so basic. But the thing that I have learned when it comes to grief and just, learning to live with it, it is not something that I personally will ever get over. I don't think there's such thing as getting over someone's death. I think it's something that you learn to live with, especially when it's someone extremely close to you. For me, it was my mom. And so the closest person ever to me. And so the most basic things have been for me the most important things. So water, like especially when I have no appetite, when I don't feel like cooking, when I don't feel like eating, water has been number one. Hydration and electrolytes have been a lifesaver for me this year and this winter in particular. And like let's just start there. I feel like water and sleep. Water and sleep are two game changers. Those are the most basic things. Those are the wellness things that we hear all the time, but they really do make the biggest difference. Aside from the obvious staying hydrated and getting sleep, something else that's really helped me is to identify the things that are draining my energy and giving me energy. And so every single day, we all do things that drain our energy and give us energy. And you need to identify the things that are those in those two categories for you. I feel like, it's the smallest things, like I said before, that make the biggest difference. And you would be so surprised at the people in your life who you might not even realize are draining your energy, the tasks that you're doing every single day that are draining your energy. And like I said, especially if you are going through grief, or if you're not going through grief, you're just someone who experiences seasonal depression, winter blues, it is like the smallest task that you are doing every single day that are going to make the biggest difference, and everything might feel harder for you to do. And so it is that more important to identify the things that are giving you energy versus the things that are draining your energy. So energy givers might for me are exercise, doing the things that I love. I actually like, not that like it gives me energy, but it's just fun. Like I love reading, I love cooking, I love baking. Um Being around people that I enjoy being around, that I love to talk to and have good conversations with, and that are not draining my energy and are super like helpful and fun and just cool people. Laughing, like I love comedy. I saw Bill Maher like two weeks ago. Like I just love a good comedy show. I have still been going to concerts. Like just having fun gives me energy. And so just make a list of the things that give you energy versus the things that drain your energy, and start to make sure that your day is filled with things that give you energy more so than drain your energy. I know for a lot of people, work is very draining, and a lot of people work 40 plus hours a week. And so you got to think about, you know, the time that you're spending, um, where your energy is being taken from you. You have to be replenishing yourself and doing things that are giving you your energy back, because I found that a lot of times I'm actually like not physically tired. It's more like a mental tired. And the things that help the most are the things that, you know, having things to look forward to, the things that you love to do. So identify the things that you love. It is so much easier to enjoy your day. It's so much easier to not get stuck in grief and not, be down all the time when you have things to look forward to, when you know what your go to, like, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, like your emergency kit for, making you instantly happy. Like for me, books, candles, my favorite TV shows, going to a show, concert, music, things like that. Like I love what I love. Like, and they're very like pretty simple things, but it's the things that really make me happy and are a game changer for me. By the way, as far as books go, the only author I have read all year is Kennedy Ryan. I have read I was about to say not every single book, but the majority of her books have been the only books that I have read all year, aside from Between Two Kingdoms, which is Suleika Jawad's book, which I was going to talk about at the end of this episode, but I'll say it right here. If you know anyone who's grieving or want to, give a gift to someone who may be going through a really difficult time, go get Between Two Kingdoms. I talk about it in every single one of my videos. It is the best book for me as far as I'm concerned when it comes to going through any type of grief, life or death situation. Suleika Jawad, if you don't know her, is John Baptiste's wife. She is incredible. She is a New York Times writer. She has battled with on again, off again cancer for the last few years. And she's actually about to come out with a new book. I believe it's called The Alchemy, and it drops in April. I cannot wait to read that book as well. But her sharing her story has been just such a game changer for me this year. It has been super comforting for me this year. And this is another like helpful tip to learn from people who are experiencing the same thing. Obviously, someone in Suleika's her situation is different because she's experiencing grief in a like opposite way, where she is the one who is, going through a life or death situation. So it's a different kind of grief, but it's still, a life or death kind of situation. And her writing is just beautiful. It is incredible. She is super comforting. Listen to her interviews. Like, I love her so freaking much. Like, I saw her in person when I went to John Baptiste's concert, but she is someone who I can't wait to just tell her thank you in person one day, because I love her so much. She has literally been such a lifesaver for me this year. And so if you can find people who, have been through really difficult situations, and their life is all about perspective, and who have different perspectives on it, who are not just like gonna bog you down with, being depressed and having to be sad, and, talking only about the hard thing. Like, we all know death is hard. We all know illness is hard, getting sick is hard. It's not about like downplaying the hardness that comes, with life's shit, but it's all about perspective. And there are like little things that you can do to keep moving forward, to, still have things to look forward to still enjoy your life at the end of the day. And so that book is 100%. I just went off on a whole tangent, but Suleika Jawad has been like a rock for me this year. There have been so many people, like, just virtually online. Like, people in my real life have been incredible, but I've like loved just getting closer virtually to so many people who I look up to, authors, YouTubers, content creators who have shared their stories with grief, and other people who are super open and honest about it. And so it's inspired me to be open and honest about my journey, which is the one of my themes on this channel. And so do things and find things that you love and things that give you energy, especially if you're someone who feels like grief is so heavy or just this time of year in general is so heavy. That is a game changer. Find it, even if it's just one thing that you love that you can do every single day, or at least, as often as possible. Gardening, like playing a sport, hobbies, like someone you can talk to on a regular basis. Like, if you can just find one thing that you love, I promise you it's going to give you more energy and it's going to help you to keep going forward. Also, if you don't like feel up for having fun all the time, just doing little things that are productive that you might not feel like doing are also really helpful. Like appointments, I had to get new glasses. I, still had to get my teeth cleaned and go to the doctors and do things like that. And so those tasks that you might not feel like doing, like cooking, laundry, just like having a sense of accomplishment when you feel like you are going through the worst of the worst times, making your bed, like those little things make the biggest difference, but especially those tasks that you do not want to do. And for me, I feel like as an adult, we all hate making our own appointments and going to appointments. Like, there's still something so crazy about scheduling your own doctor's appointments as an adult. Like, it is crazy. And like, I still feel like it's something that you'll never be like old enough to do. Like, it still feels weird going to the dentist, to the doctor's eye exam, like on my own. It's like that's such a task that your parents do for you your entire life. But like doing those things that you might not feel like doing if you're like me, I hate going to appointments, but it does make me feel super accomplished. It makes me feel adult. It makes me feel productive. And so doing those little things that you might not feel like doing, scheduling those things now, I promise you is going to help you feel, like I said, just a sense of accomplishment. You're going to feel like, you're still making progress and you're moving forward and you're getting things done, even in the midst of being, fatigued or sad or, feeling like you're stuck. It'll help you to, keep moving forward, even if it doesn't feel like it. You're going to feel productive and you're going to just feel some type of sense of accomplishment. You'll be proud of yourself for doing it. No matter how old you are, I feel like you should always get a lollipop after going to the doctors. Like, always. I like that's something that never gets old. Like, I feel like you still got to give yourself a treat when you make those adult appointments, because like it's just something about it. I don't know what it is about doctors, dentists, eyes, like anything, and like medically, I guess you will just never be old enough to do. Like, I don't know what it is about scheduling those kinds of appointments, but it's so crazy. Um, but yeah, doing things that you don't feel like doing, game changer. Like I say, even if it's the little things, make your bed, clean, cook, do vacuum, do something productive every single day, especially if it's something that you don't want to do. You're going to feel that much more accomplished and that you know, you did something and it's going to make you feel good. Making sure that I am taking my vitamins has also been essential for me this year because, like I mentioned before, when I am like exhausted, when I don't feel like cooking, I don't feel like eating, electrolytes, game changer. Obviously, staying hydrated, making sure I'm eating nutrient dense food, but also vitamins because, if you don't feel like eating all the time, if you don't feel like cooking, you still need to make sure that you are nourishing your body. I take vitamin D, I take iron, I take B12, and there's one more, essential aminos. And I don't take any of those every single day, but I take them, I would say, about 4 times like out of the week. Just because, like, me personally, I'm a very like moderation person. I don't believe in doing anything every single day. But I will leave those somewhere on the screen, but those are the main vitamins that I take personally. I also do greens powder if I know that I'm not getting enough veggies in my diet. I love greens powder. I will also leave that somewhere on the screen. Just making sure that you um, get in get the nutrients in your body that your body needs, even if you're not eating all the time, if you don't feel like eating. I know what it's like. I know what it's like to not want to get out of bed. I know what it's like to not feel like doing anything. You don't want to cook. If you're going through it, you don't want to eat, but you should still, at the very least, be taking supplements. And so, I'm not a doctor, disclaimer, but these are things that have worked for me. And that still make me feel good and able to function. If, like I said, if I'm not eating enough, if I don't feel like eating, if I don't feel like cooking, if I'm just too tired to just do the things that need to be done, at least I know that my body is getting nutrients, and, that I'm still able to keep it moving and keep functioning and feeling good. But my body's feeling good even if I'm not feeling 100%. Have things to look forward to, have hobbies, be mindful of the content that you are consuming. Like I said, please make a list. If you don't take anything else from this video, make a list of your energy drainers and your energy givers, and make sure that you start doing more things that are giving you energy than draining your energy. You will be so surprised once you sit down and identify these things, how much of your tiredness is actually mental, and it's not physically, it's not a physical thing. For me, I've noticed that, like I said, fatigue is a lot more in my mind than it is physical. And so identify your energy drainers versus your energy givers, and just make sure that you are, like I said, mindful of the content that you are consuming, especially if you're sad. Don't watch things, view things, go places, be around people that are going to make you feel even worse. You got to do things that are going to make you feel better, not worse. And so, like I said, being productive, even if it's doing a little task that you don't feel like doing, you're going to feel so much better once you just get it done, once you get it out of the way, have things to look forward to, things that you enjoy doing, and find things to love. Even if it's just one thing, like I said, that you can get up and that you can do every single day. If it is your cup of coffee in the morning that you absolutely love, make sure that you have that on hand. Just any little things that are going to make your day better, make a big difference for you. Make sure the people around you know what makes you happy as well, because I feel like when it comes to grief, especially, people don't know what to say, they don't know what to do, and it can be hard for people to be around you. Sorry I had to put it like that, but it's hard. Um, it, there's no other way to say it for me, but a lot of times people just don't know what to say, and it's easier if they know at least what you like and what's going to make you feel better. So make sure that you are communicating that with the people in your life, so that they know, the things that work for you, the things that are going to help you, um, the things that they can do for you to make you feel better. A lot of times people really do want to help, they just don't know how to, and that can only happen with communication. And so just make sure that the people in your life know what's going on, and you don't have to say anything, but just make sure that they at least know what you like. And so these are a few things that have helped me. Please drop down in the comments below things that have helped you with seasonal depression, with winter blues, with grief, um, anything that you might be going through at this time of year. Getting sunlight in is also super important. Like I said, live somewhere where the sun sets at 4 p.m. And so if you're like me, you got to get out earlier in the day. And so make sure that you're getting some sunlight in as much as you can. Make sure that you are getting nutrients, taking supplements that, you know, your doctor recommends. Of course, I am not a doctor. Whatever works for your body, make sure that you are doing that. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Um, Exercising, I know if you do not want to get out of bed, the last thing you're going to want to do is exercise, but trust me, it gives you energy. It will boost your mood and it gives you energy. It is such an essential, it has been such an essential for me throughout this past year, especially of grieving. Just moving my body has been so important, because it's literal energy, but also um spiritual energy. Your body holds on to so much energy when it's pent up, and when you're tense, and when you're going through things that are really hard. Just being able to literally get that energy out is so helpful, and it's helpful mentally and physically. And so exercise is also a key factor if you are experiencing grief, if you're extra sad this season. Like I said, all of the basic things that we all know are good for us are the things that really do work. And I think that those things, for whatever reason, are just always the hardest for so many people to stick to. Water, sleep, nutrients, rest, exercise. They really are, they really do make the biggest difference. Surrounding yourself with good people and just doing your best every single day to make yourself feel good, to be happy, to keep moving. if you are going through it, like I said, I am right here with you. Find a creative outlet, get some hobbies. Those are things that have also been, game changers for me, especially in the winter. Like I feel like it's harder to get like winter hobbies because it's just more to do in the summer and in the spring and stuff when it's hot outside, but winter is a lot of fun too. So find things that you enjoy doing even when it's cold outside. Find ways to get out of the house, even if it is, even if it's freezing, you got to get out the house at least a little bit, especially if you work from home. And so it's going to make you feel worse. Just speaking from experience, being in the house all the time. So try to get out the house a little bit. If you know someone who is grieving and you like want to help them out, I highly recommend, whatever you can do. Like I said, figure out what they like, what they don't like. Get them gifts that you know that they want. For me, I love candles. I love books. Kindle is always like one of my favorite things to get. So anything that you think might help whoever it is that you're going through. An experience is also super helpful because, like I said, getting them out of the house is super important. And so, tickets, a show. I know everyone's financial situation is different, but do what you can. Whether you are the person going through it or you are trying to help someone who is. Sulika Jiwad's book, I will always recommend the book Between Two Kingdoms. If you are looking for last minute Christmas gifts, that is my number one recommendation. I will die on the hill of that book being basically like the best book of all time. I love Sulika Jiwad so much. And these are just some things that have helped me. I hope that you got one takeaway from this video. And if you did, let me know down below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this. I will talk to you guys in my next one. Bye.